All right, in this video, I'm going to use the distance formula to find the distance between 2 points, 2 ordered pairs of points, to find the distance between them, obviously. In this question I have here, though, it's asking us to find the perimeter of the triangle. Here, this blue triangle between 3 points. So we're going to need to find 3 different distances, which will be plenty of practice using the distance formula. So we're just going to label these, because they're all 3 distances. I'm going to use D for all of them, but since they're different distances, we're going to use D1, D2, and D3. It does not matter which one is 1, 2, 3. You can, just so long as you have different equations for each one. And we know the perimeter is going to be the total of all of these, all right? So, start with D1. We're going to use the distance formula here. Now, if you can see that, it's D equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared, quantity squared. Now, does it matter which one is x2 and which one is x1? Well, it does later on, but right now it doesn't matter which one you choose. Let's just choose this one as x1. So this would be x2. So x2 goes first. -7 minus 5, quantity squared. Now, this really does matter. Whichever one you've chosen to be x2, now y2 has to be the y value associated with that x2. That is very important. You don't want to mix them up and say, oh, now it's 8 minus 3. No, we started with -7, so that's the x2. So the y2 must be 3, not 8. So 3 minus 8 squared. Ran out of room there. All right, order of operations, parentheses first. -7 minus 5. -12. Quantity squared. 3 minus 8. -5. Quantity squared. What's 12 squared? 144. And it's negative. Negative times a negative is positive. Same with this. 5 squared is 25. 144 plus 25. Got to do that first before you take the square root. 144 plus 25. 4 plus 5 is 9. 4 plus 2 is 6. 1 plus 0 is 1. 169. Oh, that came out nicely, because what's the square root of 169? 13. So we have D1. That was D1. That was 13. All right. That's the first one. I'm going to erase this so we have room for D2. All right. D2 now is this one. So we're looking at these 2 points. Doesn't matter which one we choose. So let's just choose 5, 8 as x2. 5 as x2. 5 minus 1 quantity squared plus 8 minus negative 5 quantity squared. Okay. Parentheses again. 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 squared plus 8 minus a negative 5. Double negative is a positive. At least in math it is. So 8 plus 5, 13. Yeah. 13 squared. Oof, okay, 4 squared is 16. 13 squared, we just did the square root of 169. So that gives us that. 169 plus 16. I have a feeling 9 plus 6. I have a feeling this isn't going to come out to a perfect square like it did last time. 9 plus 6 is 15. 1 plus 6, 7 plus 1, 8. 185. Yeah. D sub 2 is the square root of 185. Now, here's where you break out the calculator. Did this on purpose because not all of your math problems are going to work out perfectly to get a perfect square. A lot of numbers out there that are not perfect squares. So, square root of 185 technical difficulties. Luckily, I have it written down here. It's approximately 13.60147.051 on and on. Something like that. We're just going to round up to 13.6. So that's our D2. Nope. Note that we rounded down, not up. All right, last one, D3. Now we're dealing with these two sets of these 2 points, and can choose whichever one you want to be x2. x2 is 1 minus a negative 7. Minus a negative makes it positive, so that's why I have a positive there. Now we add, this is our y2, right, because this was x2. And we have a negative 5 minus 3 squared. All right. 1 plus 7 is 8. Negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. Okay. 8 squared is the same as negative 8 squared, which is 64. And 64 plus 64 is 128. Yeah. So D3 is the square root of 128, which is 11.3137, blah, blah, blah. It goes on forever. So we're going to round down again to 11.3. And that is our D3. And so now we can add all those together. Let's just do it the old-fashioned way, shall we? Zero plus 6 plus 3 is 9. 3 plus 3 plus 1, 7. 37.9 is the perimeter of that blue triangle right there. Now, how does this apply to real life? Well, if you were working as a cop and they're asking you to put up crime scene tape, caution tape around a crime scene, and you had 3 points to work with, you would know you would need 38 yards or feet or whatever that is to surround all that. Maybe a little more because you want to wrap it around those 3 points a few times. It's the best example I could come up with. That is how you use the distance formula. Remember that.